Hi guys, and welcome back to Train Sim TV. And it's Tom, and today's video is on the Harrogate loop. It's a route that I myself created along with another group of other developers over the many years. We released a couple of years ago at Vulcan Productions. It's one we don't really do very often in videos because we like to try and give everyone else's content the freedom on the YouTube channel that it deserves. So we try and hold back of doing our own stuff only as and when we have a little bit of extra spare time, or we are waiting really for something else to video. So today we're going to do a about 55-minute run between Knaresborough and Leeds. It's a scenario I've just found on the ATS website. So we're going to give that one a go. There's a couple of little bits and pieces missing which I didn't see in the listed requirements, so all I've done is F2 and continue it. It just seemed to be some 158 reskin. Not too sure where it's come from, so we'll just have to and carry on as it is. Hopefully it won't cause too much disruption. We're on a class 170, we've got a class 170-478 for this run. So we're going to get ourselves sorted. Those are already open, ready for a speedy departure. So good morning driver, set up your train and prepare for the prompt 0806 departure to Leeds. Just get these headlamps set up. Oh, you can do that. Do you think you could do your own destination plates on these? So we want Leeds. The reskins for Major Wales as well for the northern livery. There's Leeds. We are good to go. So at this point, would have taken and changed over the token back to the signaller, as we did. If you was coming, sorry, if you was coming in from like Leeds, you would hand over this the token there. But because we're starting there wouldn't be exactly a token as such. I'm going to get a screenshot here because I love the shot there. Just because one of my favourite scenes. Not to say that this will be the thumbnail or not, but we'll give it a go. Might find one better. The other reason that we're doing this video is, in a way, is because last weekend prior to filming this, I travelled down here myself with Mark on the DRS Class 20 Farewell Rail Tour. I've got a scenario in the works for that. It's just not quite ready yet. Bit of AI to be finished off at Leeds, and then we will stream it. But I'm hoping that we most likely will do it as a video as well. So there probably will be another video quite shortly on this route when the time permits to get it done. Stations to pick up at this one are Starbeck, Harrogate, Hornby Park, Panal, Wheaton, Horsforth, Headingley, Burley Park, and penultimately Leeds. Down to 30 mile an hour in a moment in the curve into Starbeck. It does open back up to 60 though as we arrive into the station. just arriving at Starbeck. Note the custom signal box as well that stands here. Not all the boxes on the route have been done as custom. There was a few made specially for the route nearer the release. There was still a few that we've got in there but are default. But close enough representations. We sort of went for the more obscure ones with the nice fancy paint jobs, like Poppleton was done as a custom, this one as well. Possibly, I can't remember if there was another one. I can't quite remember. It was that long ago, and that much of a frantic rush when we were coming to get the route out, we just like got what we could at the time. The lighting's at the right point on this one. I'm gonna get loads of screenshots. I've also I was working on an update on this route, but at the moment I've sort of like had to stop doing it because the updated version was on a different route ID due to a clone because something went wrong. And then I carried on working on this clone for so long, but because it ended up being a bit of a mess, I've decided to go back to the website version. So I'm now able to actually play people's scenarios because I wasn't able to play people's scenarios on the clone version. I sort of wanted to be in the same boat really as everyone else. So what I've done with this version is I've put the AP's weather in as default on the time of day. So I've swapped all the files over so it gives you brighter weather. You can do this yourself on your own versions if you have the AP weather enhancement pack. If you look in the manual, it does tell you how to apply his files to the route or any route of your choice. To give you the nice vibrant colours. I might do odd little tweaks here and there, I'm not too sure, but there won't be any track tweaks or anything like that. Everything's going to stay the same. I did want to re-signal it, but I really struggled finding any information anywhere to do with the new signalling. There's VMS signals in some places now, but I can't find any info on them, nor any videos. I think I saw one on YouTube, but it was in the dark, so it didn't really help on what was what. So if I do ever do anything to this route, it's just going to be cosmetics, really, just for at the minute myself. But if it deems something I can release, then I will. But at the minute, it's not looking like I'm going to be doing a mass update on the routes. Simply down to time and enthusiasm is sort of like just dropped on working on this route. Unfortunately, we've got Northern Lines Electric. I want to really sort of spend my time and focus on that route and get that one progressed. If I had 10,000 arms and another 40 odd hours in a day, I'd probably might be able to fit it all in, but it's just I can't do it. Not at the rate I used to be able to work anyway. Times change, and obviously real life circumstances happen and change and all that lot. Everything plays a factor in it. I mean, this route's massively changed around this area. I mean, this siding to the left now is all cleared up and it's all used for the IETs. There's all footstep access and all sorts added in. It's been about, since the last time I came on the route to travel on it, it must have been a good 7-8 years ago. It's massively changed. This is Harrogate. Next stop is Hornbeam Park. That's not too far away, it's about a mile or so. So we're just passing underneath Waitrose, which is above us on this section of the car park. So we're going under the car park. Waitrose is slightly to the right. One little gripe I've noticed just running this one is obviously the lack on the destination blinds by the looks of it so far. I mean, that AI didn't have any destination blinds. This didn't have anything set up, but it's not an issue for setting them up on your personal shrine. But on AI, you'd expect it really to be added in. That's my only little gripe. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, Harrogate Loop was created by myself, and also originally it was built by a huge team that all sort of contributed together. We all worked on separate tiles and sent our work off to a mass build to be compiled together. After so many years of doing so, the community team that we all had working together sort of died off, and work gradually sort of just grinded down to just myself working on it. Carried on working on it, and the track that you have in the map today, which is this, originally was a massive 500-mile network which went off to Scarborough, Hull, down to Doncaster, all over to Manchester and Liverpool, but there was no scenery. It had a Calder Valley and everything on it. It was massive. I decided to chop it off and just make it into a more viable, reasonable sized route that would actually look like it'd be finished maybe one day, even though it's never going to be finished even still now. But at least it's not so bad in size of map. I don't feel so bad for not finishing it. But when I took over, I sought permission from Jim, who was the route author and creator, to take ownership of the route, because he is interested in TS also had died off, so it made sense for try and get hold of the route and continue it, and then obviously publish it, which obviously we've got it at VP now, so VP will look after the route and own that. But it was a massive route at one point. Bit of a story behind it. This is Crimple Curve as well, So just at the beginning of the curve, when we go into the curve, originally there was a route as well that took you towards Church Fenton, which went through Tadcaster. It continue onwards into a tunnel and come out the other side and continue onwards. That closed down many years ago. Next stop is Pennell. This section of the route was the very first part of the Harrogate Loop that I worked on. When I took it over, there was nothing there at all. It was a blank land of scenery. And then to test myself, to get a test on how well I was at doing route building, I was given this little section. It doesn't quite look how it once did. There has been a few tweaks over the time, like additional bits and pieces like this. This was all different. This didn't look quite right when I first did the work. But it has reasonably stayed the same. It's more the line side stuff that's sort of changed. I mean, this sort of stuff's always been here. This big crane. Not how true that should be there, but I always liked the look of it there. The route originally was called Transpennine Route. I'd say this was a massive route that sprawled across to from Liverpool, Manchester, the Calder Valley, the Transpennine Route. It leads to Manchester, which like Mark and Callum are now doing, which were nothing to do with this, by the way. They were a totally separate route. They were never cloned or anything off this. But it had them routes in it. It had what else did it have? Again, it went down to Doncaster. It had Scarborough, Hull. It had everything in it. It was huge, and if we had it in the game today, it would have been absolutely fantastic. If we could have had it all finished, I'd love to have seen it if it had ever happened. But sadly, it just wasn't to be. Our next stop will be Wheaton in a few miles' time. I think as well, when I did my first tile, I had no idea of asset placement and the asset count that was allowed. So when I was placing assets, I was putting like 1,000 trees in the smallest of areas. I had to rip up the scenery as well a couple of times just to get it right, but we got there. The penny dropped when I realised that I had to do it right. There shouldn't be two stop car markers there either. This goes back to where I said I was doing some update, where I was getting rid of some bits and pieces, because I've obviously gone back to the website version. All the stuff's come back, so I need to get rid of some of the silly bits and pieces that seem to have been missing, so this will be one of the things. I've just not got around to doing it yet. It will come. The other thing is, I'm not sure if I'm going to add VP trees to the route instead. Possibly. If I'm going to do anything major, it will be that, but other than that, it won't be anything really. It'll just be odd little minor tweaks. Next stop is Horsforth, a couple of miles away. We've got Bramhope Tunnel to go through before we get there. So again, now what I'll do is I'll pop the link in for the route in the description below, and also the scenario. The scenario is 2 Charlie 18 08 06 Knaresborough to Leeds. So if you wish to have a little play about on that one, you can obviously go and do that and download it. I do also believe there was another line that sort of veered off to the right around it in this area. Let's have to skip to. I got quite a bit of information out of Mark's dad on the route itself when they did the tour last weekend. He knows his stuff for the area. I'm just sort of like passing on this info to you guys. Not overly sure where the line branched off. Not sure if we can make it out on the tree lines or anything actually. Oh, here is I know where it is. There's a triangle there. It was here and went that way. So it would have come off here and gone that way. And again, other side of the triangle, it would have gone off in that direction. I do remember now, because I do remember putting that tree line in many years ago and thinking, oh, there must have been a railway here. You can always see it when it used to be a railway on the map. You can just make out in the tree line, it was a thick enough tree line, but you can tell with the curvature of the trees as well. And this is Bramwell Tunnel. The tunnel's a good couple of miles long. It's one of the longer routes in the country. It's quite a length. You're sort of climbing in the tunnel as well, and then it sort of levels itself out and then drops back down. The more strenuous climb is if you was coming out of Leeds, up Armley and up that way to Horsforth. So you're literally climbing all the way to the tunnel. And you ease yourself and drop down. The biggest climb on this section, the route going this way, is when you're going up to Harrogate. So we're just going out the tunnel now. Turn back section there for services, the short services that run backwards and forwards between Horsforth and Leeds. This is Horsforth. Next stop is Headingley. So we've got Headingley, Burley Park and Leeds as our final stops on this run. So the staggered platforms at Headingley. This is another station that's changed as well. I noticed when we come through the other day that there's actually now like lift access down to the lower level. So new lifts have been put in and all sorts. This is another place that's changed a lot. Next stop's Burley Park. That's not too far away. It's just around this bend. Makes me wonder if one of the some of the AI that I might not be seeing is something on this route. When when I mentioned obviously there's a couple of bits missing. I wonder if it's some stuff that might have been seen on this section of it, because I've only seen one AI. Should be a little bit busier than that, I think. So we're just approaching Armour Viaduct. Just playing over there, so we're going to Leeds Bradford International Airport. I think it's Leeds Bradford International. I think that's what it's called. If I was wrong, I do apologise. Just coming up towards Armour Junction as well. A little bit of tile load on the way into Leeds, because Leeds is quite a big tile. Quite a few tracks running off it. Looks like we might... Oh no, we've got green. The ADS was for the speed decrease. We're going to somewhere. A. Just slow down. We're going to have a red signal around here in a minute. Countdown boards. I think it's 1A, is it? No, 4B. Sorry. That's just telling us back there we're going on line A at the minute. Where are all the trains? I can see some trains. Someone's waiting at a red. There's all sorts occurring coming behind us by the looks of it. We're just going to wait our turn into the station really now. Although we're going to cross over here by the looks of it and go into platform 4, which is here, but at the minute we won't be going in because by the looks of it, there's an AI in there, so we'll be waiting for that as well. So we're just going to wait our turn. And we'll do so by watching the trains go past line side, I think. I can hear trains. They're coming from somewhere. I love Leeds. It's a nightmare to make scenarios on. It's a right bottleneck. To get everything moving. A right pain. To get everything moving on the right line as well. A lot of marker work is needed. There's the screenshot. Winner. Yeah, so still waiting for our road in a minute. There's another 91 coming in. Oh well. That ended well. Well, that's ended a bit abruptly, but either way, we hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Obviously, it's one of them things that's happened. Not sure what's happened there. Something's obviously gone wrong and it's derailed. Possibly it's not been tested properly, I don't know. But again, if you've enjoyed the video, thank you very much for watching. I do apologise that it's ended the way it did. Don't forget you can get the Harrogate loop from Vulcan Productions. The link is in the description. And you can also pick up that scenario if you do wish to have a play with it. But though, just be wary that it might end like it did with me. That is ATS. Massive thanks to you all. You can find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/TrainSimTV_Tom. Also at twitch.tv/TrainSimTV_Mark. Tom's channel's the one that's most regularly live, but Mark does occasionally do some streams and he does the videos as well. So again, thank you very much. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, send us a comment, and we'll get back to you. Thank you very much and cheers. See you later, guys.